the Weather Channel. You'll also see that I'm not alone now in the Good Things studio. Joining with me now is Miss Alexis. She was the preteen who walked away with the second place trophy at the American Royal World Series of Barbecue in Kansas City, Missouri a couple of weeks ago. And joining her too is her mom, Miss Hannah, with say it for me.
Politically incorrect.
There's just no way I'm going to get through that day. Incorrect barbecue competition team, which is also your dad is a part of that as well. So first, congratulations.
Thank you.
This is really exciting. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning, Alexis, of your long 11 years. When did you pick up barbecuing as your own hobby?
Well, 4 years ago, I started Kids Q. That's like when I kind of started to learn how to cook it on my own and how to like do things on my own without like having people to like help me like every like second, you know.
So did you grow up around barbecue?
Yes, I did. Yes, ma'am.
So, Mom, when did the family start competing in terms of barbecue competitions?
So my husband one day just decided he was watching, the barbecue TV shows on TV, and he was like, I can do that. And I was like, okay. And he used to be very competitive, and so he always jokes that he can't compete athletically anymore as we get older. And so he signed up for the Bass Pro Shop contest locally here in Pearl, and we did that and just kind of got under our skin, and we just started doing great in the beginning. I guess they call it beginner's luck, and then you go to the really big KCBS competitions, and we just started doing it on the weekends, traveling around Mississippi and the surrounding states, and now it's our very expensive hobby.
More into that in just a second, but I see here recently you guys were named the grand champion of the Downtown Jonesboro Barbecue Fest.
Uh-huh.
I mean, y'all received first place in brisket, second place in ribs, fourth place in both chicken and pork shoulder. Is there a bird or an animal that y'all don't put on the grill?
Yeah, basically just about everything. So, but he just does KCBS events, which those are the 4 categories there that they do.
So, Alexis, as you're growing up watching the barbecue competition, what about it was like, you know what, Mom and Dad, scoot over. I think I can take the coals for myself.
Well, usually I see like a bunch of people competing in barbecue, and it's just like I feel like I should be able to like be in like competition, like big barbecue one day, and if I do Kids Q, then maybe it can get me there one day.
So you had the choice. You could cook a steak or hamburger. Which one did you choose?
Well, it was by age group. Like you had to like if you were 10 and under, you had to cook a burger. But I really wanted to cook a steak anyway. But I'm 11, so I was in the age group. But I think that steaks are easier to cook than burgers because, like, there's so many more steps that you have to do with burgers than steaks, and that's why I really.
Is it hard to mess up a good steak?
Not really. It's not really hard to mess up a steak.
People do it all the time.
Unless you overcook it.
Unless you overcook it. So how did you pick out your steak? Did you have total control? So once you chose that I'm going to do steak, walk us through, like, from your competitor mindset, how did you get prepared for the big day?
Well, we got off all of our supplies and stuff, and, like, you just kind of, you do, like, you prep your meat and stuff, and you season it with all of your seasons, and then you, like, kind of let it sit there and, like, kind of let the meat sweat a little bit, and then you light your charcoals, and then you start cooking it.
So is this all on your own? So
so they provide, since it's a competition, they provide the same steaks to everyone at the Royal, and then they have the KCBS rep that actually lights their charcoal for them.
So you didn't have to necessarily play with fire by yourself, but you did have to, like, and that's kind of the hardest part when it comes to cooking a good steak. Not that I have lots of experience doing that, but watching others it's in the fire, right? It's in the coals, when to know to flip it, when not to flip it, all of those things. So what were you judged on? I know taste is obviously probably top, but I know there's other things about it that judges look at.
Well, you had to have, like, if you really want to, like, do good in a competition, you have to have grill grates, and that's, like, where you, like, it's, like, I forgot the word what it's called, but it's, like, you have, like, markings on it, and, like, it makes it look pretty. It has, like, the, like, X's on it and stuff, and that's what basically gets you up top. but the taste is like one of the main things. But grill grates helps you a lot. I think that's like one of the main things that helped me get second place.
What did you cook your steak to?
128.
128. Is that was that very specific? Were you going for the 128? Mm-hmm. Was that considered in the world of steak? Is that medium?
Medium rare.
Medium rare. Is that how you like your steak?
Yes, ma'am.
So you'd be mad at me if I asked for a well done steak? Would I not win a competition with a well done steak?
Probably not.
I don't even know how to make a well done steak.
Yes, you do. You just leave it on there longer than you want to. Let's just
That's right.
you just put it on there longer than you want. Okay, so when you knew it was ready, I know another part like of competition also is the plating, is the whole like presentation. Did you practice all that before, or did you just know how to build your plate for your steak?
Well, we were talking about it a lot. Like, we were like saying, well, we're gonna practice the steak for like months, and then when we get there, we haven't even practiced it. Like
Such
the
is
day
life.
of.
Such is life of yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you did your greenery all by
I did.
yourself and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I did my greenery and my kale boxes and stuff. That's probably one of the hardest part about making a steak is the greenery, because like if like barbecue sauce or anything gets on it, like that, they'll count off. So that's probably one of like the most precise things you have to be careful about.
Which I think that's also, Mom, people don't recognize what just cooking it well isn't the only part of competition.
Right.
The presentation part is like huge. How many judges tasted your steak?
I'm pretty sure 5 each table. I'm not particularly sure. I just know that like you put your steak in like a particular box, but like there's like bunches of tables. You just get to choose what table you put your steak in.
So you only cooked one. You didn't have to cook like 5 different.
And she had 6 judges that judge it, and then each judge gives a score, and that's how they calculate that.
How many competitors did you have?
So
In the 11 to 15?
yeah, I think. So overall, there was about like 50 or 60 kids, so probably like 30 or 40 kids in the steak, because there's more kids in the steak than there were kids in the burger, so probably about 40 or 30 now.
Boys and girls, mixed gendered? Mm-hmm. You beat out all the boys.
And did you want to tell her the seasonings that you used?
Oh, yeah. So I used the Man Meats barbecue, the real barbecue seasoning, and then I used the
Black Label.
The Black Label.
Heavy smoke black
Heavy
label.
smoke Black Label. And I have another secret one, but I can't say that
I was
one.
going to say, are you going to give us all of your secrets
Yeah.
here
I think
on
she's
Good Things Today?
She's gonna keep one of them to herself,
Yeah.
I believe.
We have someone said that on our text line said smear marks. Is that what it's called? Like sear scars. You don't want to smear your meat. Sear marks. Is that what they're called? Is that the formal term for
Yeah,
it?
so they're basically black grill grates that go on top of your grill, and they just make the pretty crisscross markings that you
So
see.
maybe that's what I'm missing in my grilling experience. Maybe that's what's keeping me from being a top-notch griller. No, that's not. That's not it. That's not it at all. So you were you nervous? Because I read you were in front of like 2,000 attendees.
Well, yes, I was really nervous, but I wasn't nervous about the people in the crowd. When I got up on stage, I just saw a bunch of like 14-year-olds, and I was like, oh no, I'm not finna do good. I'm like one of the 11-year-olds out here, and there's like a bunch of like 13 and 14 and 15-year-olds, and I'm just like,
Well, that
I'm
just
out of their
means
league.
you're nervous because you thought that maybe they had more experience cooking than you.
Yes.
Because I was thinking, I mean, you just put your meat on the, thing. You know, if it gets to 128, it doesn't matter how old you are. You take it off. It should taste.
That's right.
It tastes pretty good, I think. But I can see there where you would get a little nervous. Had you cooked steaks at all? I know you didn't really practice, but had you cooked steaks on your own prior to this?
I've never cooked a steak before.
Most of the kids' cues she's done has been either
Burger and
hamburger
pork
or
chops,
pork chop. So
Okay. So,
she's
what
got
was
those
it
down pat.
like whenever you heard your name called?
Well, I was like, oh my gosh, I did not know I was going to win, because there's so many people that were competing. And I just was like, I was in kind of shock, because I was like, oh my gosh.
What did you win?
I won a trophy and $250.
What are you going to do with the money?
Probably Amazon.
Amazon Prime is having their sale the day tomorrow. It's probably not a good thing to necessarily tell you on that. But I want to hear about your burger cooking and more. You can stick with us. You stick around?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right, y'all stick with us. You'll see we're continuing our conversation with Hannah, she's mom, and Alexis, who's her daughter, Garrett, who she just won, or I say won, but you got second place. In our mind, you were a winner, Alexis, at the American Royal World Series of Barbecue in Kansas City, and you did the ribeye steak, but I hear that burgers are kind of your jam. How many times have you competed in the burger category?
Probably I compete in contests like at least like 5 times a year. And so probably 5 times 4 is
20?
20. Yeah, like 20 times.
I'm just impressed you tried to do the math. Right. I would have just been like a lot. Several times. Okay, so what is it about the burger that you sort of, or is that in terms of age range of the competitions, is that what they kind of just the only thing you can do right now?
Well, not really. It like more kind of less populated contests like in Tennessee and stuff. I don't really have to do a steak. I can just do a burger because most of them I'm not going to be able to do a steak. But the Royal is probably one of the biggest contests in the world, which it is actually. And they kind of have to split it up into age groups because you don't just want to be going on and keep on doing burgers for the rest of the year, So you have to change it up sometimes. So.
You just don't want to cook burgers the rest of your life. I get that. You want to elevate it to steaks. But what are your best burger cooking tips? Like when you go to compete in the burger category, what's your secret weapons?
My secret weapons are really like I have a tip that like when you do the burger, when you are done like mixing and grinding all the seasons to it. Usually people just like put it in the cooker and be like, okay, let it cook. Well, if you want to put your thumb in the middle, if you put your thumb in the middle, it doesn't blow up, like it doesn't get like a big ball. It actually stays flat and it helps the burger like not like get up into a big ball. And that's kind of a tip.
So what temperature do you cook your burger to?
Like 100 or 200, I think. I don't.
Well, she actually does a steak burger, so she'll grind a ribeye and a sirloin together. So it's more of a steak burger and not really a hamburger.
No, that makes it even better. So what is it about the competitions that keep you coming back? Is it the winning or just the excitement or the thrill of doing it?
Well, it's kind of the winning because I like to hear my name get called and like walk across the stage. I like that most part, but it's also fun cooking. But once you do a lot of stuff, you kind of get tired of it. So that's why I'm kind of excited when I get older. When you get like 20 or something, or hopefully I'll be doing barbecue still, you get to go to backyard barbecue. I'm pretty sure at least like 19 or 18 or older, you get to go to backyard barbecue. It's where you get to do like the stuff that they do and stuff, and you get to do like a whole bunch of categories and stuff, which I'm excited about that. But
Hannah, you and Wes started this as a sort of side hobby as a family. Did you ever think it would turn into an entire family affair?
Absolutely not. We just kind of did it for fun because we saw the local barbecue and boats at Bass Pro Shop in Pearl, and we just kind of haven't stopped since. It's like the barbecue world is, we call it barbecue family. Like we just look forward to seeing all our friends from all these different states at all the events, and it's just kind of like a separate family when you start hanging out with all the barbecue people on the weekends. It's just really fun.
You mentioned your husband Wes said, "Oh, I think I could do that," and y'all just sort of reached out and it sort of snowballed. Mm-hmm. What's like one or two things that you had no idea about that most folks don't realize whenever they see people winning these big barbecue competitions? What's going on in the background?
Probably the cost of the meat. I just basically told Wes to stop telling me how much he was spending on meat products because it's insane right now anyway. But even before the prices weren't bad, barbecue meat prices were bad because he gets his briskets from Florida and just to have them delivered, and he's not just going out and buying a brisket from the local grocery store, although he does for chicken and ribs and things, but the brisket's kind of a hot item. So that's a lot of people don't know the insane amount of meat cost, I guess, is one thing, or how long it takes to make a turn-in box. You have to make 4 turn-in boxes for the judges. That's very time-consuming because you want them to look like a putting green when you turn it in. So
But what keeps the family going back for more?
Winning. Hearing your name called, and sometimes I'll say, even if you don't win, just getting to hang out with your friends and competing and sharing stories and recipes. I mean, I think we would still do it even if we never heard our name called, just because it's kind of a club.
You got me tickled. You said when you win because the judges get tripped up on the name of y'all's team. How did you come up with the name?
So Wes,
share with us again.
Which I hate he's not here. He loves politics, and he was sitting down thinking about what our name should be called. So he was thinking, well, I like to be politically incorrect, and he was like, I could just call us Piglitically Incorrect, and I was like, that's perfect. I was like, I don't know if anybody can say it, but that's a great name.
I've tried a couple of times and it failed miserably, but I do think it's cute, and it gets people talking and laughing, and I can see where that's part of the whole entire sort of realm of the barbecue competition. Well, Alexis, did you first come to your parents to want to do a competition, or did they sort of encourage you to do it?
Well, when I did competitions, most of them, like a bunch of the little kids were usually there. Like they kind of put me towards contests with like more younger kids when I was that young. So yeah, they kind of encouraged me to do it, but I probably wanted to do it, but I couldn't really make my mind up when I was that age, I just was like, oh, well, I can bake and cook, so I want to do that. Probably that's why I wanted to do it.
Do you also bake and cook, like besides just meats, or is entrees kind of your thing?
Yes, I do bake and cook. I help out with Easter. I'm going to help out with Easter this year. I just learned another recipe that I can cook. But yeah, I help out and cook with some things.
You got Thanksgiving and Christmas before Easter. Exactly. You going to try out that recipe prior to then?
I hope so.
Yeah.
What is it? Tell us what it is.
Well, I can make deviled eggs because I only really look forward to making things that I enjoy, and I like deviled eggs a lot. I just like them during Easter and Thanksgiving and Christmas. They're really good. That's really. I know how to make bean dip, which we do for parties and stuff. And I know how to make my mom's famous banana pudding that she, a bunch of people that she knows loves. It's a very secret recipe.
I have to say, you keep that recipe close to your chest, because that will take you further than any barbecue.
And she helps me out a lot. A lot of these barbecue contests, not all of them, but they have ancillary events, and they'll have a dessert contest, a drink contest, a side contest. So all of that, I usually am talking her into helping me with that, so I don't have to do it by myself.
What do your friends think about you being a barbecue princess?
Well, most of them think it's cool, and some of my friends do barbecue, but they live in Georgia. That's the Atlanta barbecue store, which he actually won first place. His name is Cole. He lives in Georgia. I just said that. But most of my sauces I get from them because they sell those rubs and stuff. But
I think Alexis needs her own sauce and rubs. I think you need to get in the kitchen and brand that out for yourself.
Idea.
Yeah,
and
just
then
mix some stuff.
I'll take 5% for giving you the.
That's right.
I'm totally kidding. What's next on the horizon for you? Do you have one already on the calendar?
I honestly don't know. I know that some of our friends are hosting a barbecue contest, but I don't think we're going to be able to make that one. But usually the one that we most look up to is Brookhaven contest. That's the one that we like to go to the most, besides the Royal. We love the Royal.
Oh yeah, that's a great town, and it's right there downtown Brookhaven on the railroad track, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
When is it?
That is a great question. I think it's going to be in the spring, maybe.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I have no idea.
So it may have already happened for 2022, but you're looking for it for 2023. Well, we're going to keep a lookout for you. Is there anywhere we can keep up with Piglitically Incorrect Barbecue?
Yes, we actually have a Facebook page, so you can check us out on Facebook.
All righty. And hopefully one day maybe we can come and taste something that you guys do. You said you give it all away once you cook it all.
Yeah, after every contest, we go eat at the Mexican restaurant and usually give all of our barbecue to our neighbors and friends. So.
And Alexis, what's your favorite cuisine?
What is cuisine?
Food.
Oh. My favorite food is from like barbecue food.
Just any food.
Oh, I like Ichiban. That's one of my favorite restaurants. That's like I like that type of food.
Maybe you can learn how to combine those two worlds together and make your own kind
That
of
sounds good.
Maybe.
kind of style and whatever. Well, I think it's cool. I think more girls should get out there and barbecue and keep doing what brings you joy. And yeah, good luck to you too, parents. I think it's neat that this is a fun family event. Thank you for your time here on Good Things. And you guys stick with us. We've got some tickets for you to win coming up next.